Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, thank you, Augusto and Matthias. This is wonderful. My name is Ram, and I'm basically an associate director at a nonprofit organization, NSF International. I lead the product management. It's mostly the HR side of it. But I've always judged a ton of projects previously as part of the Venture Miner. So now I'm doing it on the other side. I'm actually presenting one of my passion project. This is my side project along with a bunch of other folks. And I am actually presenting today for an app that we've built together, and I'm basically helping them out for free. So excited to do it.
Awesome. So you have the stage. Are you going to present something?
Yeah, totally. Let me just share my screen really quick. Let me see if I can actually share screen. All right. Thank you, Augusta. So this one is basically a fully wipe-coded application team, and this is basically coming from a pain point. A pain point for all of us, right? We're talking about the $60 billion hair crisis, and I'm going to talk about that in detail. And I'll tell you how this thing has actually started. Imagine if you are going to a salon and then you've got a bunch of things happening. You provide your request to say, hey, do me like side cut and then give me a fade, and then you all do all of that stuff. But then you get your haircut done and it looks totally different, not the way you expected. And that is the problem that we're trying to answer here. So looking at all of these things, we've asked about 10,000 salon customers. These are all like normal people like me and you, right? Who've had this problem. We say like, what is going on? And they said, we asked for a trim, we got a pixie cut. So whatever they've asked, they got something else. They showed a picture of how they want it. Even then the stylist messed up. And then they paid $150 and then all of that money is gone. So some of them have actually said they've had all of these problems. So if you look at 95% of the people have had at least one of the hair cut related problems. It is such a basic thing that we think like, oh, like what big deal? But end of the day, it affects all of our, our confidence. So really quickly into what we're having is the miscommunication crisis. As you can see, I say as an individual, I go to a salon, I show the picture, I say, I need this particular haircut. And then the haircut happens and it looks nothing like this, right? It's a totally different picture of what I was expecting, right? So 60% of the customers are dissatisfied because of that. And actually because of the confidence, because they do not have the confidence, there is a very high no-show rate, which actually affects the stylists. And then on an average, there is a $150 cost per no-show. So we're going to address that. Think about it. Think about it for a second. Would you actually buy a car without a test drive? Would you rent an Airbnb without seeing the photos? Would you buy clothes without knowing your size? You wouldn't do any of them. You would actually first test it to make sure it's fitting your requirement. You would see it to make sure that it's actually good for you. And then you're buying it, right? We do it for all of these things, but we don't necessarily do it for our haircut. And you know what, we're actually in 2026, and that's exactly why we're here to solve the problem. Now we're introducing Hairbnb. We haven't really finalized the name yet, but this is the kind of app that we're building. What it basically does is you see it, you like it, you love it, you book it, and then you go for it. So what we basically do is the app asks you to upload 5 pictures of yourself in different angles, top, side, left, right, in different angles. And then you go into the app and then you write or choose the perfect look that you want. You can say, I want a wavy haircut with, whatever, right? And then you choose that. And then the AI basically generates the entire preview. And if you don't like it, you go back and rewrite it. You can choose some of the pre-built prompts, you rewrite it, or you choose some of those, and then you regenerate it. Once you regenerate, and when you like your new AI feature or your AI look, you basically send that to the stylist, and then you pick up a stylist based on the options that you've chosen. So the AI does it for you. It finds out who the best stylists based on this hairstyle that you requested for. It identifies that, it connects you with that stylist. It sends that pictures if you choose to. It has that security feature. It asks you whether you want to share it. If you share it, the hairstylist will see it. Also, it'll send a full AI generated text of what the hairstyle should be. It speaks the stylist language. It says, do a 4 scissors to the right, left. We'll see that, right? And it's all powered by Gemini 2.5 Flash, and basically all the way from uploading pictures, generating it, looking at it, and then booking it. That's really it. It's as simple as that. It's exactly like the Airbnb, but for hair, right? So what is changing? The booking rate, we've tested this with a few members within the area where I live. I live in Michigan, and I went to my hairstylist and I said, hey, would you actually use this app? And he was like, this is awesome. I would definitely use this. Right. And I did the same thing. And my team has actually done the same thing with a bunch of other people, both stylists and the customers, because it is a the publisher and subscriber, right, model. The booking rate actually went from 32% to 78%. This is a massive increase that we've seen. The stylist saves time because they don't have to ask you a ton of questions. They already know what to do. The no-shows have actually gone down because the customer got the confidence, as in we, as in people have got the confidence to go and get the haircut. And the satisfaction rates went really high. Now, we already have some of the apps, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not like we do not have an app in the market, but we do not have an app that does the end-to-end of what just explained. We've got apps like Booksy and Fresh and StyleSeed. All they do is help you identify the right salon and then go get your haircut. On the other side, you've got Perfect 365. You can, Modiface and all that. That helps you generate the image, but doesn't connect you to the stylist. We're actually combining those two. We're solving the unique, because we're at a very unique position. We're kind of bridging both worlds, right? We generate the image, we send it to the stylist, and they get it beforehand, and you get the best cut. And this is altogether a new category. How we make money, I think this is really important. We're looking at multiple revenue streams. The first one is commissions on booking. Obviously, we're looking at a 15% commission on the bookings. That'll generate massive revenue is what we think. We're still in the very early phases. And the secondary one is the premium features, where the stylist can go for a pro subscription, basically putting them on the top priority, right? That's about $49 a month. The tertiary ones is the AI style previews. So for a customer, we cannot just give them AI to continuously generate their own styles. So we start charging them, right? And if they go for booking, they would essentially get it for free. But they don't, and if they just want to keep generating the styles, we would charge them about $2 per AI generation. In the future, we can start thinking about the data and partnership, where we can bring in the affiliate products and also start marketing them. But this is purely an hair revolution. That's what we're looking at. This is the growth strategy. We're thinking about contacting some of the influencers on TikTok and Instagram and ask them to support our app and then promote our app. That's going to be the first approach. And then we're also looking at an ambassador program. They're like different things that we're trying to do to get ourselves into the market and become the market leader. There is this AI marketing strategy, which is different from the previous one that you saw. This one's about creating your own personas. This is a new thing that has been recently introduced. We're using N8N. We're using a bunch of AI tools to generate content, AI-generated content, and launch it onto these, public social platforms so that the app gets more and more publicized. And that's what you see in details at the bottom. And in the end, there's a scaling plan, right? How do you want to launch it? So we're looking at launching it in the US, Canada, and South America. And that's why you see the app is now available in French, Spanish, Portuguese, apart from English. That's day one. Q1, Q2. And then in Q3, Q4, we wanted to expand it to the other regions of the world. And then the year 2, we wanted to go with all of the countries. I know it's a lot. We're trying to do as much as possible. This one's very, very optimistic, I would say, or hyper realistic, but these two things are definitely doable. And that's where we are. And I know I spent maybe like 5 minutes in talking. I just want to spend a minute in showing you the actual app. And this is a prototype. So this is what the app would look like. You can basically upload your pictures. You can enter your name. This is setting up your profile as as a customer. You capture multiple pictures in different angles, and then you would give a prompt. And based on your gender, it'll already start showing you different hairstyles. So if you switch, it'll show you different hairstyles, right? And then based off this, you would give a small prompt, or you could choose a particular prompt. And then I said, give me a green color hairstyle with fade cut. And then I just go and say, continue. It generates that hairstyle for me. It's basically my face, and you'll see some funny pictures, and, bear with me on that. Just a minute. It's coming. Now, as you can see, it has generated different hairstyles for me based on the haircut that I've asked for. And then you can actually compare, like, how do I look before and after? It basically tells you how do I look. And if you're satisfied with that, you would say approve, and it takes you to the booking section, and you can choose a particular salon based on whom you want, and then go for it. As you can see, you can book for a new appointment, and boom, right? You choose a particular one. Let's say you want to go for a haircut, whatever. It asks you whether you want to go with an AI or choose the one that you went for last time. But if you say no, browse all the stylists instead, you can choose something, book a slot. You can either pay now or you can pay later, where this is integrated with Stripe, and you basically confirm and pay. That's really it. So now your booking's confirmed. And now if I log in as a stylist, you will see that my bookings will show up here. And also you can generate the instructions that says, for this particular style, do this. And it takes a minute to generate the instructions. But if you look at the history, there you go. It gives you the whole thing, like how the hairstyle should be done for this particular customer, which is me. So now as a stylist, I have full details, and we can make it concise to like very, very simplify it. And then send it to the stylist, and they get to choose and confirm it. And basically I've confirmed the appointment, and I can get my hair done. That's really it. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, great project. You said you had a great project. I'm glad we made it. Glad we made it. Awesome.
Yeah, hi, Ron. Thanks for the demo. It was really nice to see the project live as well. I was curious whether you had any metrics you could share or any data points you could share with respect to what's like the satisfaction rate of an AI-generated haircut versus what the actual haircut ends up looking like for a given salon, and if that stays consistent as you scale up, and if you've had any sort of experience with that, or if you said you've already tested it in your local area, so curious to know how it's.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great question. I think there is this very similar question on the chat as well. I think the haircut that was generated based on the AI one had a very high probability, because a very high success rate, because people actually went through multiple iterations. They did not like the first AI image that was generated, and it went through, at least on an average, most of the customers spent 4 to 5 times, have run the same generation 4 to 5 times before they generated the image. And then they've shared the image, and they were very happy with what the image looked like. And because the image was used, even the stylist felt very confident in building or getting that exact haircut. And they were saying, most of the customers said there was about a 90 to 95% match of what AI generated with what the stylist has done. So I think that's a very good progress.
Awesome. Thank you for the questions. Sahil?
Yep. Hey, Ram. Yeah, really nice presentation. Really cool problem also. So going to the kind of models that you're using, are you looking at any of the biases that it generates, like when it generates and when it suggests different kinds of haircuts? And what are the kind of benchmarks you are using on top of the default Gemini 2.5 benchmarks?
Right. Oh, awesome question, Sahil. So we first started with OpenAI and Nano Banana as well. Before we went to Nano Banana, we started with OpenAI one. The images quality was not so great, so we had to switch to Gemini, which turned out to be really, really useful. In terms of the benchmarks, I would say the highest one we got was for Gemini 2.5, and that's why we had to stick with that. And when it comes to putting it for, so what was your other question, Sahil? You were talking about the bias, correct?
Yeah.
So we haven't really tested that. That's a great question. We did test it with different genders, as in we've got some customers who are male and some of them are female, and we had them to review the app and generate the images. And especially on the female side, they were very, very excited because they could get exactly the kind of haircut they were looking for. And I think that's a great success for us.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Arun?
Yeah, hey Ram, a nice idea, and I completely resonate with this. So basically, I have a question around the marketplace dynamics. What density of stylists is needed for a city to work? And what happens if a demand grows faster than supply?
Right. What if you have more customers?
Yes, but we have a shortage of stylists.
Wow, that's a fantastic question. I haven't really thought about it. I think we need to. So I think one triggers the other, correct? So we need to have more customers, so that we have more stylists, and we need to have more stylists to get more customers. So like both of them should grow organically, and that's why we're trying to create some programs, especially for the stylists, so that they can register for free initially, and we're charging them very less when it comes to our commission. We're not going to go with 15% initially because that's a lot. We'll probably start with 7% and eventually scale it to 15%. And that's our goal, to attract more and more stylists on board.
Got it. Another question I had is like, at scale, what is your biggest cost?
Oh, the AI generation, absolutely. Because it's using a ton of tokens right now for generating the AI images. That's why we had to stick to putting at least $2 or $1.99 if they don't choose to go with the actual haircut.
All right, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Felipe?
Yeah, my question is again more business related. Who are your current competitors for a solution like this?
Actually, there is no solution that does end-to-end, Felipe. We've got two buckets of people. We've got this Booksy is actually the market leader, and I think we've got SquareGo and a bunch of other ones who help us book the appointments. And then on the other side, we've got this Style Guide and a bunch of other things who does hairstyling, and they all are very expensive. They charge a ton of money to even get your cut, right? I mean, to generate the image, if you know what I mean. But then we're trying to combine those two. So it gives us that advantage, because when we generate the image, we're not necessarily charging them heavily, because anyways, they're going to get the haircut. And that's where we would get the business from. That's where we would make the money. So we're not leveraging, or we're not taxing heavily customers. So I think that will attract more customers, and they can try out different hairstyles before they go to the customer. Before they go to the stylist.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Senhil and Nirud, a quick question. If you guys have a quick question, then we can have you asking.
Sure. Yeah, my question would be, really, it's a cool idea since out of thinking, and so even I had a bad experience. I had used it before, and thanks for the presentation. Mike, what was your technical challenge, and in your market, what is your market challenge?
Oh, the biggest market challenge for me right now is to bring it into different countries, especially because the app that I've built, or we have built, is fully functional for the US dollars and Canadian dollars and for South Americas. Other than that, we haven't really considered expanding yet. I think we need to spend a lot of time in building that necessary system to capture different currencies. And personally, I don't know how it operates in the other parts of the world in terms of putting a Stripe equivalent system for easy payments. And that's what we have to explore more. That's where we'll spend more time doing.
Thanks.
Great. Anirudh, please.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation. That was pretty cool. I'm curious about how do you verify the accuracy of some of the flows? So as an example, you need to validate that the generated haircut is possible. It needs to be shorter than your current hair length. And then you need to verify that the generated instructions for the stylist are accurate for that haircut. So I'm curious, do you have any evals to validate the accuracy of those two flows?
Absolutely. And that's a great question. And maybe I should have can I go back to sharing my screen? Maybe not. Great. Can I spend like a minute? Augusta, is that okay? It won't take long, I promise.
Yeah, maybe that would be the last question. We can do the 1 minute explanation, but then
just a minute. Yes. So I think we, as a stylist, they get to create a client note. It basically tells how the haircut went, what was the details, what are very specific details for that customer, and those get saved. And what we're going to do is to use that saved notes and compare them against what has been generated by AI. And it kind of gives you created versus the actual outcome. And it tells you how close we are from the accuracy. And that's the model we're looking at for comparison.
Awesome. Yeah, great project. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all the judges for your time here. This was the second presentation of the slot. We're going to change our judging panel now. Again, it was a pleasure. Feel free to contact us if you wanna make talk to Ram or talk to Guillermo. So yeah, thank you guys again for being here. Let's just move you guys back to the backstage area. And Ram, thank you for your project, dude. I'm actually in need of it. Yeah, you can see it's overgrown, but yeah, Mateos needs it too.
Yeah. You all need a haircut now. Please use the app, okay?
Awesome. Let us know how we can reach out. How can we find you and download your app?
Absolutely. So we're on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, and I'll share the IDs so that you all can connect and see what's happening latest on the app. And thank you for having me, Augusto, Mateos.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you here on the other side. Thank you. See you, man.
See ya. Bye.